Well, good evening, and welcome to the May edition of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. I'm Ron Olesko, and tonight, Christine Lavin and myself will be co-MCs of this live virtual festival. Now, normally Rod McDonald kicks off this monthly event with a few words of welcome, but he'll be here later tonight. So right now, I get the honor of letting you know what you're about to see, and I think it's going to be an amazing night. We'll be treated to performances from Paul Clements, Dan Tappan, Rebel Voices, Greg Greenway, Ken Perlman, Seth Gleer, Joe Jenks, Emma's Revolution, Noel Paul Stuckey, and John McCutcheon. Now, I should note that Doug Mishkin was originally scheduled to join us tonight, but he came down with a cold and is unable to perform. We do hope he feels better soon, and he will join us in a future edition. Now, the Greenwich Village Folk Festival is a free concert. It's a gift to the community. The festival itself, as a 501c3 organization, was founded back in 1987 to honor the music and legacy of the village music scene. The founding producers were Rod MacDonald, Ray Mysick, Jay Rosen, and Jerry Hinson. And the Greenwich Village Folk Festival held an annual in-person concert from 1987 through 94, and then returned in 2020 with these monthly online concerts held the first Sunday of the month. Now, while it's a free concert, and we hope you'll enjoy it in the comfort of your homes, we do welcome and encourage donations, which are shared with these performers and the incidental costs that keep this organization going. So, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, just check the little links that are provided in the chat feature, or go to our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org, to make a donation. It is greatly appreciated. And before we start, I'd like to thank our hardworking engineers, Brandon O'Sullivan and Greg Greenway. Now, you folks watching, you don't see all the work that they put in to pull this off, and you would be amazed at what goes on behind the scenes, so kudos to them. In addition, this festival is organized, promoted, and maintained by Rod MacDonald, Ray Mysick, Andrea Klosky, and Jerry Hinson. So thanks to all of them for making these shows a reality. And now, how about some music? Now, our first performer tonight has a very special connection to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. In fact, he was the very first performer to take the stage when the festival began back in 1987 at Washington Square Church in the Village. Now, Paul's first on-stage performances actually took place a few years before that. When he was 13, he began performing with his older brother in the folk clubs of England, and by the time he reached his 20s, he was performing in folk and soft rock bands. And eventually he moved to New York, where he became a fixture in clubs like Folk City, Speakeasy, Kenny's Castaways, The Bitter End, CBGB's, and more. And over the years, he's written music and released a number of albums in a variety of genres, including composing music for The Music Room, which is a music program for children of all ages. So, it's fitting that the very first performer in the history of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival is our very first performer tonight. Let's welcome Paul Clements.
It's been a long, long time. Way back when, in paradise, mankind could not be satisfied. He thought that if he ate that fruit, his eyes would be opened up wide. But it's a long time coming, Lord. It's a long, long time. And when I was a baby boy, my mother said it's plain to see. It's all part of God's good plan, peace on earth for you and me. But it's a long time coming, Lord. It's a long, long time. And when I grew and went to school, every day we said that famous prayer. One about forgiving each other's trespasses and God's will everywhere. But it's a long time coming, Lord. It's a long, long time. My dad, he was a soldier, thought he knew what he was fighting for. mates all gave the sacrifice in the war that was to end all war. But it's a long time coming, Lord. It's a long, long time. I really do believe it's true. Someday the lion will live with the lamb. But maybe that just goes to show what a hopeless dreamer I am. 'Cause it's a long time coming, Lord. It's a long, long time. Yes, it's a long time coming, Lord. It's a long, long time. On a lighter note, let's go down to the hip part of town. It's just across the avenues. I'll put on my old granddaddy's hat, you put on your grandma's shoes. Dancing with you in slow motion, laughter will fill the air. You'll be Marilyn Monroe, I'll be Fred Astaire. When we are there, I know it's gonna be alright. When we are there, I know it's gonna be all night. Dancing with you in slow motion. Wings on our heels, wind in our hair. When we go down to the hip part of town, we'll be there by and by. You put on your dancing gown, I'll put on that old bow tie. Dancing with you in slow motion, this feeling is so sublime. We'll pretend we are lovers from some more romantic time. When we go dancing in slow motion. Wings on our heels, wind in our hair. When we go down to the hip part of town, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sure we will realize our lives have just begun. Dancing with you in slow motion, this feeling is so sublime. We'll pretend we are lovers from some more romantic time. When we go dancing in slow motion. It's always an interesting process deciding which 3 songs to do. And my wife and children are always telling me what I should do, and I always do the opposite thing. So I have been writing children's music for the last several years. I've got this little book that I've written a song for, and I did some little pictures because I couldn't get anyone else to draw the pictures for me, so I decided to do it myself. This is a little song called Sleep-a-Room. Sleep-a-room, Talamatoon, danced all night by the light of the moon. Sailed the sea in a great big spoon, sleep-a-roon, talamatoon. Sleep-a-rooney, talamatoony, went round the world in a great big balloony. He went around twice and he'll be back soony. Sleep-a-rooney, talamatoony. Sleep-a-roona, talamatoona, hitched his balloon to a great big schooner. They went to the land of muddy Maroona. Sleep-a-roona, talamatoona. Sleep-a-rilla, talamatilla, sat in a tree with a friendly gorilla. They ate ice cream, banana and vanilla. Sleep-a-rilla, talamatilla. Sleep-a-roon, talamatoon, sleeps all night by the light of the moon. Sails the sea in a great big spoon. Sleep-a-roon, talamatoon. Sleep-a-roon, talamatoon, sleeps all night by the light of the moon. Sails the sea in a great big spoon. Sleep-a-roon, talamatoon. Sleep-a-roon, talamatoon.
Oh, that's adorable. And how old are your kids?
They're 18 now.
Oh,
Twins, a boy and a girl. They're 18, so they really have authority over me.
so if people want to get that little booklet you just showed of the song, how would they find it?
You can get it on Etsy. You can order it on Etsy, and you could also contact me through my website or on Reverb Nation. My website is themusicroom.info.
Well, thank you so much for being part of this festival. You know, every Monday night there's an open mic at Birdland. Have you ever gone there?
At Birdland in New York?
Yeah. Sign up
You know,
at 9:30.
I haven't ever been there. I did all of the open mics years ago in the 80s. And I performed every night. I don't know if I performed every Wednesday night for about 20 years at the Bitter End in New York City.
Oh.
And I have a show coming up there on June the 1st. So
Well, that's great to know. So June
yeah.
1st at the Bitter End is the next
June
festival.
1st at the Bitter End, yeah. So I used to play there every Wednesday night regularly. So, but I will check out that Birdland open mic. It sounds like a new one.
No, it's been going for 18 years. Jim Caruso's.
Well, that's new. That's new. I've been in New York 40 years. So.
Well, it's great.
When my children were born 18 years ago, that was when I stopped going to open mics.
Well, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for being part of tonight's show.
Been my honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Now, our next performer is one who actually does frequent a lot of open mics in the area. He's got songs with titles like Potatoes in April. And Vance Gilbert is a fan. And not only is Vance Gilbert a fan of this next performer, but both Vance and this next guy have written songs about the Space Hotel. Do you know about the Space Hotel? It's not up there yet, but when it finally gets built, they've already got 2 theme songs that we know of already. And his name is Dan Tappan. He's had a lifelong love of folk music, and it prompted him to get serious about his playing. So this seems like this is fairly recent in his life. And it's been said he writes vivid lyrical songs steeped from snippets of life, seasoned with dashes of humor and whimsy, a dusting of philosophy, and an occasional pinch of pathos. So please welcome Dan Tappan.
Thank you, Christine. Some say there's a season, time for every purpose. Some say there's a reason for all the things that hurt us. Well, I don't know the master plan, just focus on the small. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. Grown-up life's a busy mix, startle, stress, and hurry. Sometimes can't help myself, give in to the worry. Other days I take it slow, listen when the birds call. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. There's a time for doing taxes, a time for washing dishes, time for smelling roses, and a time for catching fishes. Time to read, a time to write, a time to search for answers. Time to leave your seat and join the dancers. Some hope politicians will be the ones to save us. Others say the answer is to bow our heads to Jesus. Not much faith in praying, less in building walls. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. There's a time for doing taxes, a time for washing dishes, a time for smelling roses, and a time for catching fishes. A time to read, a time to write, a time to search for answers, time to leave your seat and join the dancers. There's a meditation in working for the future. Tender shoots, seeds, and hope, all things we can nurture. Each act of compassion means we're in it for the long haul. Potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. Potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have goats. They're pets, the rescues for the MSPCA. We named them for famous female scientists and engineers. Jocelyn Bell Burnell discovered pulsars, but her supervisor got the Nobel Prize for it. Rosalind Franklin, fundamental work on the structure of DNA, but some men got the Nobel Prize for that one too. Grace Murray Hopper, pioneering computer scientist, and Tabitha Babbitt, a shaker who invented the circular saw. But when I say we named them, what I really mean is it was my wife's idea, and I'm taking credit. The girls are planning a party, doomed from tip to toe. Sure to be music and dancing, regular fade-o-do. Inviting all the neighbors, woodchuck, squirrel, and rabbit, Justin, Roston, Grace, and Tabitha Babbitt. The girls are feeling their oats today, a sparkle in their eyes. Sun is higher in the sky, south wind's on the rise. Sun on the breeze of flowers and trees, and leaves to tease the palate of Justin, Roston, Grace, and Tabitha Babbitt. turning, maples budding, daffodils dreaming of bees busy bubbling. Rain early morning brings scent of earth warming. Bullfrogs are singing and tadpoles are squirming. Every blushing sunrise, a new world is revealed, and the girls are going dancing in the field. Feeling frisky, ready to paint the town, shaking off their winter coats, don their summer gowns. Fun flew south with the bluebirds, now it's back, so grab it. Say Charleston, Roston, Grace, and Tabitha Babbitt. Light-dee-di-dee-dee-light-dee-dee-light-dee-dee. Light-a-lee-di-da-lee-da-lie, dee-dee-da-lee-day. Light-a-lee-di-da-lee-da-lie, dee-dee-da-da-lie, dee-dee-da-da-lee-da-lie, light-a-lee-da-lee-da-lee-day.
Yeah.
Thank you. This next song, it's the first one I wrote during the pandemic. I actually didn't write anything for the first several months. I just didn't feel like it, but finally somebody challenged me to write to the theme, Nothing Lasts Forever. And this is what came out. I spoke to the seal on her rock by the shore, posing a question I pondered for hours. When is the ending? How will we know? What will come after? Where will we go? She sang to the stars that danced in the lead. Nothing endures but the sea. She sang to the stars that danced in the lead. Nothing endures but the sea. I called to the eagle alone on her eyrie, asked her advice, told her my worry, fear and misgivings, demons and doubts. What are we doing? What's it about? Her only reply was a shriek and a cry. Nothing endures but the sky. Her only reply, a shriek and a cry. Nothing endures but the sky. So I sought the witch at the edge of the wood, hoping for omens of where matters stood, feeling forsaken betwixt and between, lost and alone in a broken machine. And the solace she gave was a balm from above. Nothing endures but love. The solace she gave, a balm from above. Nothing endures but love. So one thing, thank you. One thing about the pandemic, or the last few years, even, is a lot of people are dreaming about escape. I'm going to finish with this one. Claire's leaving in the morning, catch a plane to Paris, France, hang out at the corner cafe, walk the Seine, learn to dance. Maybe she will write a novel, read the works of Baudelaire. But come the morning sunrise, say goodbye to Claire. Claire is leaving in the morning, sail a ship across the sea, ride a camel down the Nile, scale the heights of ecstasy, set out on a wandering highway, journeying to God knows where. But come the morning sunrise, say goodbye to Claire. Stars will be diamonds in the desert sky above, moon a lantern on the path to true love. If you walk by her apartment or call on the phone, if you're looking for her, Claire will be gone. Claire's leaving in the morning, hear the tolling of the bell. She'll leave dishes in the sink, tell the boss go to hell. Instead of waiting for the bus, she'll fly and meet the Southern Cross. For her deepest dreams are lost. Goodbye to Claire. Goodbye to Claire. Thank you.
Dan Tappan. Oh, thank you so much. Dan, if anybody's watching would like to get in touch with you and maybe see or hear some of your other songs, where can they find you?
I've got a website, dantappanmusic.com. There's a lot of songs, including the lyrics and chords, up there.
Uh-huh. Well, I hope folks will check it out, and we'll be hearing more of your songs in the future, too. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Well, our next performers are someone that I'm anxious to hear again, because they've been joining their voices in harmony for more than 40 years. Now, I first heard them when they were part of a trio with Marcy Boyd. They were called the Bells of Hoboken. And their recordings on Fast Folk have always been a favorite of mine, as well as my radio audience. Later, they were part of a group, Shays Rebellion, and since 1989, they are known as Rebel Voices. Now, the group's name comes from a book called Rebel Voices, an IWW anthology. It's a book that collected songs, poems, cartoons from the industrial workers of the world. Members of the IWW were known as Wobblies, and they attacked the issues of the day with passion, humor, and of course the arts. What a perfect name for this duo. Susan Lewis and Janet Stecher's songs reflect the stories and concerns of real people, and they've been dedicating themselves to integrating politics and the arts to speak for workers, immigrants, activists, the disenfranchised, and so many more. In these troubled times, we certainly need their voices. I'm honored to introduce Rebel Voices.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Woo, woo. So, you thankfully provided some of our intro. That you noted, we started out in Greenwich Village more than 40 years ago with Marcy and Bells of Hoboken. So it feels really lovely to have our career, as we're beginning to retire more, bookended by Greenwich Village. I really appreciate Dan's songs, because one of the things that has definitely informed our history is how much we learn from other people's songs and intros. I never knew about those women scientists. Thank you so much, Dan. That's really terrific. So I'm Janet Stecher,
And I'm Susan Lewis.
and we're Rebel Voices.
A couple of days ago, here in the Northwest and nationally, we commemorated Workers' Memorial Day, which is a day that we take some time to reflect on how many hundreds of people die every day because of hazardous working conditions, either on the job or as the ultimate consequences of accidents or of diseases they've picked up while they're working on the toxic substances and things like that. So we live in a world where workers are the most disposable resource.
And today is International Workers' Day, May Day. That's a commemoration of an 1886 struggle to achieve the 8-hour workday here in the U.S. In one Chicago demonstration against the particularly brutal police response to the campaign, there were many lives lost and several organizers martyred in the aftermath of the Haymarket Square rally. May Day is officially celebrated in almost every other country in the world, but not the U.S. Most of us didn't learn anything about the history of the labor movement in school.
Well, I do remember hearing about John L. Lewis, probably because he was a Lewis and that kind of stuck with me. He was president of the UMW, the United Mine Workers, for 40 years, from like the 20s to the 60s. And despite the threat of physical harm and even death, miners over the years, the mine workers struggled against great odds to achieve their goals, and they were in the forefront of obtaining the 8-hour day, the collective bargaining rights, health and retirement benefits, health and safety on the job. And union workers everywhere have benefited from their leadership. They kind of led the way into making those kinds of demands. And unfortunately, we've forgotten how we got many of those benefits.
So after that, we experienced the justice movements of the 80s and the 90s, raising our awareness of struggles in Latin America, in South Africa, and many attention was brought to the general public of the rise of a movement in Poland called Solidarność, that's solidarity, while we here in the U.S. had our ups and downs.
So this John McCutcheon song that we're going to do is from the perspective of one of those coal miners who participated in and benefited from decades of struggle to make a very profitable mining industry just a little less dangerous for the workers themselves. And this retiree, he is now, is grieving to watch the decline of unionism here.
So imagine or remember that in West Virginia, it was particularly difficult organizing because of the 4 mountain ranges. And Don will allude to a particularly robust waterway called Paints Creek.
He raised a gnarled finger. There's the place we used to meet, where old John L. would beller and bring each miner to his feet. And the boys would dream about the day they'd each be underground, and the greenbacks flowed like Paints Creek through the town.
I remember back in 29 times were hard back then. It was 50 cents a ton, young boys would do the work of men. And the faces in the lamplight shone those families all alone, waiting for the ones who never would come home. But the young ones don't remember. How were they to know all the fights we fought to give them futures down below? And they'll cheer for solidarity off in some foreign land, but not a one will take the Union stand. They called us everything back then, from outlaws to damn Reds. Many a time whole families were murdered in their beds. But the dead marched on before us, and we turned the tyrant's tide, and we raised our Union banner high with pride. Oh, the young ones don't remember. How were they to know all the fights we fought to give them futures down below? And they'll cheer for solidarity off in some foreign land, but not a one will take the Union stand. And now the times are hard again, and all we hear are lies. The flame dims to a flicker, you can see it in their eyes. And as those who can't learn from the past are cursed with it again, it mocks the ones who suffered so in vain. Now from my home where all we pensioners live across the tracks, I watch the children walk the rails to gather coal in sacks, to drive away the chill that haunts too many a miner's home, until they realize they're not alone. Oh, the young ones don't remember. How are they to know all the fights we fought to give them futures down below? And they'll cheer for solidarity off in some foreign land, but not a one will take the Union stand. Thank you, Brother John, for writing that song. So the young ones don't remember, but there is a new movement brewing, partially fueled by what recently has been called the Great Resignation. Young workers are choosing not to return to their jobs after the pandemic and are looking for a better living standard. And those who are still employed are realizing the power of their collective action. As of yesterday, more than 200 Starbucks shops have filed to unionize, and more than 40 have already voted yes. We're sure you're aware that Amazon workers have had several notable victories around the country.
And hospital workers who so recently were lauded as essential are still struggling to survive in understaffed, undersupplied, underprotected conditions. And they're working for us. There are people who claim that unions are somehow un-American, but we find it a most patriotic act to demonstrate and strive for workplace justice. And we thank Paul McKenna and John Philip Sousa for this next song. Paul put some lyrics to a well-known Sousa march. And there's a little bit of audience participation here because we really need your imaginations, because we play every wind instrument and every percussion instrument in the band. And
we are rivals for Christine Lavin, baton twirling. That's what this is, right? Okay, yeah.
And we have a big American flag behind us.
And we will do it in A in just a minute. Mm-hmm. Where hospital workers out on strike, struggling to make a decent living, fighting the bosses and the scabs, and we are not about to give in. We're demanding living wages. We gotta get a raise. We gotta get a raise. Our wages are outrageous. We gotta get a raise now. Oh, we're out to work here on the picket line, and we're ready to keep walking. We are going to be out there, and we will carry around our picket signs till the management sits down to do some talking. When they hear us singing solidarity forever, yes, the union makes us strong. With our voices proudly raised in harmony together, come and sing our union song. We shall overcome the opposition of the hospital employers. We shall not be moved by their injunctions and their high-priced downtown lawyers. Our enthusiasm won't diminish. We are in the battle till the finish, till the bosses hear what we are saying. Realize that we're not playing. We'll stay out in the heat and the cold, through the wind and the rain and the weather. Our union is going to prevail. Stick together, we won't fail, and hand in hand we will prevail. We'll stand hand in hand, unified, and we won't let the scabs and bosses boss us. With courage and spirit and pride, we will unite to wage the fight for bread and justice. Hey!
Oh! Fantastic! Huzza!
Thank
Brilliant.
you, Christine.
Thank you, guys.
Best ever. Okie dokie.
I don't know. I don't know if everybody could see, but we were getting some pyrotechnic baton twirling in our screen. Did everybody get to see that? That was great.
Right on, tech team. Right on, crew. For being so spontaneous and creative and making this festival live bright, loud, out loud. Okay, we're just gonna end our set soon. This is kind of a musical toast by Saigon to the history of the labor movement, one among many other justice movements, to those who came before us, who are our comrades now, and to those same young ones who are clearly carrying on, hopefully still informed and buoyed by the oh-so-singable anthems that were the soundtrack of those and these times, yeah. Don't you think it's crazy, this old world and its ways? Whoever thought the 60s would be called the good old days? But like the weaver sang to us, wasn't that a time when we raised our hands and voices on the line? And we all sang Bread and Roses, Joe Hill and Union Maid. We linked our arms and told each other we are not afraid. Solidarity forever would go rolling through the hall. We shall overcome together, one and all. The more I study history, the more I seem to find that in every generation there are times just like that time when folks like you and me who thought they were all alone within this honored movement found a home. And they all sang Bread and Roses, Joe Hill and Union Maid. They linked their arms and told each other we are not afraid. Solidarity hall. We shall overcome together, one and all. And though each generation fears that it may be the last, our presence here is witness to the power of the past. And just as we have drawn our strength from those who now are gone, younger hands will take our work and carry on. And they'll all sing Bread and Roses, Joe Hill and Union Maid. They'll link their arms and tell each other we are not afraid. Solidarity forever will go rolling through the hall. We shall overcome together, one and all. We shall overcome together, one and all.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, that was just wonderful, wonderful. And I was remembering back when you were the Bells of Hoboken, didn't you have sort of a hit song called Celibacy?
We did. That's a Marcy
That's
Boyd.
a Marcy Boyd song, yeah.
And indeed, it's...
Oh,
And we recently performed it, let's see, the Labor Heritage Foundation and the Coalition of Labor Union Women just had a month ago a celebration of women in the labor movement. And
We didn't do it for that.
what'd we do it
We did
for?
it for Valentine's Day.
oh, that's what we did
Odd
it
and
for.
unpredictable love
I'm
songs
sorry.
for Valentine's Day.
So I was just about to tell you that we're retiring and we're not doing anything anymore. But we recently participated in several collective whatevers as we sort of ebb out of the heart of our career. We're
slowing down.
We're trying to retire. Yes, we're also slowing down because I don't remember anything.
well, if people want to hire you though, or if they want to go see you, what's the best way to get in touch?
We have a fairly extensive mailing list, but if we don't know how to reach you, you won't know. Go to our website, go to our Facebook page, Rebel Voices.
What's your website?
rebelvoices.com. So there, I don't know if I'm glad or upset, but Rebel Voices has become a very common name for all sorts of upstarts. And there are theater groups and there are medical folks. There's all sorts of folks who have taken that name to capture that there is a robust movement behind whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But it was first used in
The IWW.
yes, and
Context.
Joyce
Kornbluth.
Kornbluth's book about that.
Well,
Thanks for asking. Oh, we would like to tell you about something else that we're not performing in, but we're part of organizing. And that's the People's Music Network is creating a platform to celebrate the lifetime of writing of Leon Rosselson. And this will be England, East Coast, West Coast. He's probably one of the most prolific songwriters of the left, of progressive thought and analysis, and fabulous stories. So that's May 22nd, and you can find that at the People's Music Network.
Will that be in New York or is that online?
Oh, it's streamed.
Everywhere.
It's going to be streamed. A streamed
Live.
concert.
So
yeah.
8 o'clock London, 3 o'clock in New York, 12 o'clock Seattle.
Wow. Well, thank you. It's so great to hear you again.
Thank you
Oh,
so much.
Thank
Wonderful.
you for twirling.
Wonderful. Oh. Well, you know, Doug Mishkin was supposed to be in the show. You heard he came down with a cold, and he will be in a future show. And then Colleen Cattell was going to take his place, and she came down with a cold. So we're so lucky because one of the tech people here at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival is one of the best singer-songwriters working today. And the fact that he's behind the scenes most times, you know, is just a shame but we're so happy. I mean, I'm not happy that Doug and Colleen are sick, but I am happy for Greg Greenway. And I just want to read a couple of things about him. He's a recording artist and touring singer-songwriter on an artistic journey, walking in the footsteps of those who have come before, but making footprints entirely on my own. He says, I believe That is the mission of an artist, to hold up a mirror to themselves and to society and say, I know what you say you are, but this is what you truly are. And Marilyn Ray Beyer, who's one of the best radio people, she's in Chicago. She hosts Midnight Special every Saturday night. She calls him, and it's so true, a musician's musician. We just love this guy. We love his singing, we love his songwriting, we love his playing. And he's a surprise artist in the show. And you're going to just love Greg Greenway.
Thank you, Christine. You just covered my wildest fantasy, and that's having you twirl batons while I'm playing. That was unbelievable. One of the first times I saw you in a field in New Hampshire, you just killed an entire crowd of families. On 4th of July, I believe. Oh my God. I said, I have to meet this woman. Oh my God. So I'm going to take you on a little journey through my life of music. I'm going to start you off with a song that I auditioned for the Nameless Coffee House in like 1980 with. It's called Let It Roll. And this is from a guy who was trying to let it roll, moved from Virginia to Boston, didn't know a soul. And here we go. Here I sit about midnight, nowhere near where I was about noon. Close my eyes and go riding on the back of a thoroughbred tune. Let it roll, let it thunder, let everything you like come to mind. We are all but simple soldiers, open and charging the line. And now with all the distant places well within my borders of concern, how can I keep my concentration? So much waiting there to learn. Let it roll, let it thunder, let everything you like come to mind. We are all but simple soldiers, open and charging the line. Day by day, year by year, day by day, year by year, we have all come to live with our fears. And now to all the gentle people, keep up the courage to survive with all the world around demanding. Give up your dreams just to provide. Let it roll, let it thunder, let everything you like come to mind. We are all but simple soldiers, open and charging the line. For we are all but simple soldiers, naked and year by year. We have all come to live with our fears.
Nice.
Oh, thank you very much. Written in my apartment at 66th the Fenway a long time ago. So, bringing you up sort of more to the middle of things. At a certain point, my guitar shrunk. Somebody was going to say it. I might as well be the one. And so I co-wrote this song. I'm not a very good co-writer at all. In fact, I'm terrible. But I co-wrote this song with the Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And he had recently died, but he visited me through my ukulele. And he liked the melody that I was playing, but he hated that I was complaining. And so he said to me something that's much easier for someone who recently died to say, hey, it's only life. Solamente la vida is what he said. So this song is called Solamente. Shading palm in conversation in my imagination. I heard what you might say, solamente, solamente la vida. Solamente la vida. When you wrote your book of life, you were living hand to mouth while your patient wife lied to the landlord with empty cupboards. I heard what you might say, solamente, solamente la vida, solamente, solamente la vida. Now what is a dance without gravity? What is love without pain? You get everything right and it comes out wrong. You do it again and again. My 20,000 versions of the sun, my life, have left me with an empty heart. Gobble, what can be done? With a slow touch, he said, don't think so much. It gets better when you sing. solamente, solamente la vida. Tell my heart it's just one day, just one day in the mind of the sun. Oh, bang, bang, bang. Thank you. I'd love to write another song with him. Oh, wrong one. I'd love to write another song with Gabo, but he hasn't visited me lately. So this is kind of the end of that trail of my emotional construction. And fortunately for me, it has a nice one. It has a good one. And this song is called Saving the Best for Last. And that's sort of what I've done with my life. And I want to dedicate this to my wife, Diana, who made this song possible. I've made my mistakes. My mistakes have made me. Well, now I make my steps carefully. You've got your story, I've surely got mine. Between the two of us, we've done our time. But love has a way of erasing the past. Oh, love, look at me now, saving the best for last. A prince and a pauper, you know who I am. You got the heart of a lion, the soul of a lamb. And we've both come so far, but never so near. Oh, I got the feeling we've never been here. But love has a way of erasing the past. Oh, love, look at you now, saving the best for last. You did not want to dance with me, you did not want to kiss me, you did not want me to stay. This yes has come a long way. This is our moment, this is our day. You make forever so easy to say. But love has a way of erasing the past. Oh, love, look at us now, saving the best for last. But love has a way of erasing the past. Saving the best for last. Saving the best for last.
Greg Greenway. Whoa. Well, speaking of best, now I hope this camera can see it. Look at that face. That's 40 years ago, Greg Greenway, and it's on the cover of his brand new album, which is just fantastic. Songs from the Beginning. And Greg has revisited some of his early songs from 40. No, it couldn't be 40 years ago.
Yeah, oh, yes, it is.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
Come on, look at that. You haven't changed that much, Greg. Come on.
Oh, yes, I have. It's what's inside that head that's changed. That's the thing.
Well, I got to say, this album is, I don't think you've saved the best for last. This is one of your best, but hopefully there's much more to come. And I hope you'll be, you're on tour again, I understand. You're going to be doing some shows this month?
Yes, I will. On the 14th, Saturday the 14th, I will be with my fabulous percussionist Fabio Pirazzolo at the 8-Step Coffee House, 8-Step at Proctor's Concert Series in Schenectady, New York. So you can go to 8step.org or you can go to greggreenway.com and find out all this stuff.
Oh, great. Well, we hope to see you again down the road. It's been too long, but at least we get to see you every month, even though you're behind the scenes here doing a great job. It's
I feel like I'm slacking off with Brandon tonight.
Well, so I didn't want to bring this up, but you kind of are. So get back to work now.
I will.
Thank you so much, Greg Greenway. We love having you here tonight. Well, speaking of love, I want to thank everybody who has put something in our tip jar tonight. It's folks like you that keep this festival going. We do this on the first Sunday of the month, and it's a free concert, but if you can afford to, if you can put a couple bucks in, it goes a long way. This is a 501c3 organization. We depend on donations from people like you. It's split among all the performers and the cost to keep this thing going. So look, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube watching it, there should be a link that's listed in the screen in the chat room, or go to GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org and make your donation that way. Well, I'm so excited about our next performer. One of the aspects that I've admired so much about this folk community is that it's really a big tent genre. Folk music is made up of many diverse styles, communities, and traditions, and at its heart, folk music has always been about exploring and perpetuating traditions, as well as adding innovations and new traditions. Now, our next performer has not only shared the traditions of Scotland, Ireland, Cape Breton, Prince Edward Island, the American South, but he's also developed many new instrumental techniques and innovations, and his widely respected banjo and guitar instruction books and also teaching at camps and festivals around the world have introduced this music to new generations. He's regarded as one of the best banjo players in the world, and his banjo style, which is known as melodic clawhammer, he's also a master of fingerstyle guitar, and much of his repertoire has never been played on a 5-string banjo or guitar before. And Ken is also a folklorist. He's collected tunes and oral histories from places like Prince Edward Island, all the wonderful traditional fiddle music players in Eastern Canada. And we are indeed privileged to have him with us tonight. So please welcome Ken Perlman.
Well, thank you so much, Rob. Ron. This is great because I'm seeing quite a number of folks that I haven't seen since I lived in New York. I moved up to Boston in the early 80s, and so this is quite a great evening. So I'm just going to play a few of my favorite tunes for you from different traditions. So I'm going to start out with a tune called the L&N Rag, Louisville, named for the Louisville and Nashville Railroad, and it was first recorded by Alex Hood and his Railroad Boys in 1930. And I suspect that the railroad kicked in a little to the pot of the recording session to get their name. headline, but I have no evidence. But anyway, so this is the L and N rag, and it's kind of a fun tune. And in the second part, it has these sneaky half measures thrown in there to keep you on your toes. So here we go. Very much. For my next number, I'm going to play you a medley of tunes that I learned from traditional fiddlers on Prince Edward Island and translated to banjo. And a lot of the fiddlers up there have strong ties to the old Scottish tradition, and so they enjoyed playing their tunes in a type of medley called a Scottish set, which is 3 different kinds of tunes melded together into a musical tapestry. And one of the most typical forms is a march, strathspey, and reel. So that's what we have here. So the tunes are Miss Maxwell, Miss Gordon, and the reel is Robert Stubbard, which was written by a Cape Breton fiddler with roots in the Boston area named Jerry Holland. And left us all too soon several years ago. Here we go. So I have one more for you, and this is another favorite. This is called the Belfast Hornpipe, and the Scots call it the sweeps hornpipe, like chimney sweeps. And it's a lot of fun because it has just a ton of triplets, and you think it's going to run off the edge of the earth and doesn't quite get there. So here we go. The Belfast Hornpipe. Thank you so much for watching. This is great fun. And I'll just mention that in a month I'm running a banjo camp called Midwest Banjo Camp. We just moved to Holland, Michigan, Hope College. So if you're out that way, look it up. Hope, that's MidwestBanjoCamp.com. And hope to see you down the road.
Whoa.
Thank you, folks.
Oh, Ken, I gotta come up with you. How old were you when you started playing the banjo?
About 19 or 20. And I had been playing guitar before that.
Wow. How old are you now? You don't have to tell us the exact age, but you know, how many years have you been playing that banjo?
A long time. since 1970.
Wow. So that's so interesting that you've gotten this good and you started as a 19-year-old with it. I'm thinking that there's somebody watching who wants to go to your banjo camp, but maybe as a beginner. Do you take beginners on?
Oh, absolutely. We have 9 different instructors in old time and 9 in bluegrass, and we teach at all different levels.
Wow. Well, you know what? I've been knitting the whole time during your set, getting your good juju into my scarf for my nephew. Cool. So, and what's that website again for the banjo camp?
Oh, it's called MidwestBanjoCamp.com.
Midwest.
And if anyone's interested in any of my books or recordings or lessons or workshops, kenperlman.com. No A in Pearl.
And do you take on live students, or is it mostly online stuff that you're teaching?
In one-on-one online, or I do workshops every few weeks, and also if anyone wants to come in person, that would be even better.
But now you're in Holland,
do it.
Michigan. Holland, Michigan is now you're in Holland,
Massachusetts.
Michigan.
I'm in the Boston area.
Oh, why did I think Holland, Michigan?
Because that's where the camp is.
Oh, okay. I'm not losing my mind.
It's all right. You're following right along.
Well, so if you're in the Boston area, you want a live teacher, he's your guy. And if you're online and you want to go to the banjo camp, he's your guy for that too. So thank you so much. Thank
you, Christine. Great to see you again.
Yeah. My goodness. So we just heard Ken Perlman, and there's no A in Perlman. And before that, Greg Greenway. And before him, Dan Tappan. And we opened with Paul Clements, the Brit, who now lives in New York City. And I just want to say something about Greg Greenway's set. Livingston Taylor, who's one of the best singer-songwriters going, said, "Woe is me if I'm sitting in my dressing room my whole life and nobody ever knocks on the door. But woer is me if they knock on the door and I'm not ready to answer." And Greg got the word just an hour before the show that Colleen Katow was sick. So this is a great example of someone who is prepared. And I moved to the Cafe Lena back in 1975 when I was first getting into being a performer. And I learned so much. So if you are really serious about this, I know there's somebody watching who needs to hear this, that you might want to relocate. Cafe Lena in Saratoga Springs is a great place. And New York is great, Nashville, LA, to really immerse yourself in music. It's the best way to really learn and learn quickly. And so anyway, that's enough of my little speech. Our next performer, his name is Seth Gleer, rhymes with beer. And he's worked with so many wonderful people: Ani DeFranco, Martin Sexton, James Taylor, that's Livingston's brother, Ronnie Spector, Mark Cohn. And it's been said about him by Paste magazine, the music of Seth Gleer veers toward being indefinable. Well, we'll find out if that's still true. Here he is, Seth Gleer.
Thanks, Chris. Go to work, I'm making honest living. Every night I give thanks for all I've been given. In the morning, I skim the paper, drink my coffee. What bothers me is I'm becoming indifferent. I can sit and watch a world in trouble crumble from the sideline. Or maybe I can make a difference. How long will I wait standing still? How long can my faith keep its will? I've been leaving it up to everyone else, hoping it might change itself. Time to offer up more than my goodwill. How long will I wait standing still? No man picks up trash around our town, bags on both his hands, he ought to wear a crown. Dare I say that I used to call him crazy. Now it occurs to me there's a peace in the path he's found. He says I can't explain exactly why I'm doing this, But imagine if everybody did. How long will I wait, standing still? How long can my faith keep its will? I've been leaving it up to everyone else, hoping it might change itself. Time to offer up more than my goodwill. Should anyone ever go hungry? Should anyone sleep on the streets? We're drilling holes in our sacred land while we're guzzling gasoline. Should anyone ever go hungry? Should anyone sleep on the streets? We're drilling holes in our sacred land while we're guzzling gasoline. How long will I wait, standing still? How long can my faith keep its will? I've been leaving it up to everyone else, hoping it might change itself. Time to offer up more than my goodwill. No more standing still. No more standing still. No more standing still. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Great, dude. Beautiful stuff.
Well, today was one of the really pretty magical spring days. Now, here you go. I am streaming from my home in Holyoke, Massachusetts, in Western Mass, and it was an absolutely beautiful spring day. Everyone was out in the yard, and my neighbor, he had about a 6-year-old. I'm imagining he's 6 years old. He was out in the yard, and he was playing some form of a war game with his various different action figures. And I was thinking about Ukraine, and I was thinking about this song, which I wrote with Ellis Paul. This is called Plastic Soldiers. I had grass stains for scars, 8 years old in my backyard. I played with army men in the blue sky afternoon. Out of the armor, let me just grab my lyric real quick. There we go. I had grass stains for scars, 8 years old in my backyard. I played with army men in the blue sky afternoon. Out of the pine trees and sap, plastic soldiers would attack. In my imaginary wars, I led platoons. Come home, soldier, dinner's getting colder. It's time to put your toys away. Marching orders, backyard borders. You will live to fight another day. Put those plastic soldiers away. at an army base in Kabul. I was 19, kicking up gravel. From the Humvee, a flash of light burst through the floor. An RPG and metal scraped. The shrapnel took both my legs. Now living in this body, I'm a prisoner of war. Come home, soldier, dinner's getting colder. It's time to put your toys away. Marching orders, backyard borders. You will live to fight another day. Put those plastic soldiers away. Box of soldiers from the attic, G.I. Joes with automatics, toys I saved to pass down to my own. He was running through the backyard, wearing grass stains like old scars. My legs are made of steel and silicone. Come home, soldier, dinner's getting colder. It's time to put your toys away. Marching orders, backyard borders. You will live to fight another day. Put those plastic soldiers away. Put those plastic soldiers away. Put those plastic soldiers away. Away.
Wow, great.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that. It's still wonderful to hear that. And thank you so much to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival for having me as part of this. It's an honor to be with such an incredible lineup and to be entertained all night long. So it's been great. I'm also loving checking in on the progress of Chris's scarf. So I'll leave you guys with this song. This is a brand new song, and it's one of the things that has kind of consumed my life on the tail end of the pandemic. Is I've become completely obsessed with foraging for wild mushrooms off of Mount Tom here in Holyoke. And I started with a podcast and then another podcast and then got a book and then got another book and then I just did a TED Talk on mushrooms a couple weeks ago. It's literally consumed my life. I'm growing them indoors. My wife finds them in the laundry. Now this song was inspired by a couple friends that I have made along the way in foraging. This couple who has been foraging wild rice from the Connecticut River. They
bring their kayaks up to the banks and then just sort of whack the rice into their boat and then harvest it. And last October, they had about 3 mason jars full of wild red rice, and I went into the woods and got about a pound of oyster mushrooms, and we made a feast together, and it was one of the favorite nights of my life so far. So this is a song inspired by that. It's called "It's Everything." It was just above freezing as the morning mist was lifting. We put in at the oxbow, then we started drifting. We had nowhere to be. There was so much to see. The egrets and the ospreys chasing down a morning wind. A fisherman pulling up rainbows just to throw them back again. Quiet royalty hiding in the reeds. The air was raining down messages, answering every question. I swear I heard a whippoorwill sing. There's meaning in what each moment brings. Doesn't seem like much, but it's everything. I leaned into a Douglas fir, the bark against my spine. It felt more alive than me, more in touch with time. The roots were reaching down. Once again I found the air was raining down messages, answering every question. I swear I heard a whippoorwill sing. There's wisdom in reimagining. Doesn't seem like much, but it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. She brought red rice from the river, I brought mushrooms from the forest. Carefully collected what the earth provided for us. We lit a sunset fire and began the preparation. It felt like we were part of an ancient conversation. Don't know where the hours went, but it was time well spent. And I swear I heard a whippoorwill sing. There's meaning in what each moment brings. Doesn't seem like much, but it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything.
Wow.
Gorgeous, Seth.
That's clear. Oh, man.
Thanks,
You continue to astound me. I mean, I remember, Seth, you visited my radio show. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. I don't know how long ago it was, but
was
I don't
probably
think you were
10 years
shaving then. I mean, it's been a while.
No.
But you are still writing and still performing and just giving us such incredible songs. So we're so grateful that you're able to be here tonight. I understand that you're going to be quite busy in May. You got a couple shows coming up, I understand.
I'm going to be touring for the bulk of this month coming up, and I'll be just about everywhere except the West Coast, all throughout the Midwest and up and down the East Coast. I'll be out with a trio, an upright bassist and a fiddle player who will be joining me. Yeah, so it'll be great.
Very cool. And what's your website so everybody can get in touch with you and find out?
It's sethglier.com, SETHGLIER.
Oh, excellent. Well, listen, I hope next time you're in New Jersey, you'll come back to the studio. It's been way too long, so love to see you again.
Good to see you, Ron.
Seth Glier. Wow, what a night it's been, and there's so much more to come. Coming up is Joe Jenks and Emma's Revolution, Noel Paul Stuckey, John McCutcheon, and we're about to have a little surprise. But before that, I do want to remind everybody, we still have that tip jar. If you want to keep seeing these wonderful events every month, your help makes it possible. Again, it's a free festival, and I know not everybody can afford, but if you can throw a couple bucks, it's split among the performers and helps keep this organization going. Just check in the chat column. You'll see links to the different sites you can donate, or just go to GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org. Well, we're going to do a little surprise right now. You know, Greenwich Village has always been known for giving us some soul-stirring songs that have kind of spoken to generations. And I know it's early yet because this song's only a few weeks old, but it really speaks to the times that we're in. And I think future generations are going to look at this and remember what the world was going through. Now, every Monday, I think they're still doing it, Tom Paxton and John McCutcheon have gotten together for some songwriting sessions. And of course, the situation in the Ukraine has been on their minds, as it is on all of our minds. And they wrote this next song. It's called Ukrainian Now. And Noel Paul Stuckey put together a video and took an original recording that John did, and with John and Tom Paxton, Noel, also some special guests, Peter Yarrow, Bill Miller, Tret Fury, Holly Near, Joe Jenks, Emma's Revolution, Rebel Voices, Chris Matthews, Carrie Newcomer, and Christine Lavin. They put together this very moving video that we'd like to share with you now. Now, at the end, you'll see some sheet music, and of course, you can also find this on YouTube. And I think without further ado, let's take a listen because this is such an important song. Ukrainian Now by Tom Paxton and John McCutcheon.
When I open the paper, check out the news on TV, it's pictures of buildings exploding, all that I see. But there in the midst of the horror, the blood and the bone, are the Davids against the Goliath, defending their home. I am Ukrainian now, I will stand, I will not bow. Half world awaits somehow, I am Ukrainian now. I am the Muscovite protesting out in the street. I am the rabbi learning to pray with my feet. I am the soldier who used to dance in the ballet. but somehow I'm Ukrainian now.
The world that once was so big now feels so small. An attack on the freedom of one is aimed at us all.
Sometimes the picture before is just too hard to see, but I can't look away like the coward that I used to be. While others are mounting resistance, risking it all, how can we stand by impassive when we hear their call? We are Ukrainian now. We will stand and we will not bow. Half a world away, but somehow we are Ukrainian now. We are Ukrainian now. We will stand and we will not bow. Half a world away, but somehow we are Ukrainian now.
We all are Ukrainian now.
Ukrainian Now, a song written by John McCutcheon and Tom Paxton, and an all-star cast there. I hope everybody will check this video out on YouTube. If you're an artist, learn the song, sing the song, record yourself, put it on your Facebook pages. I think it's a song the world needs to hear. And our thanks to Tom Paxton and John McCutcheon for writing that. And don't forget, coming up in just a little while, you will see John McCutcheon, also Noel Paul Stuckey, who edited that brilliant video, Emma's Revolution. And right now, well, it's a thrill to have Joe Jenks back with us here on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Now, some of our viewers and some of you folks who are listening in on Folk Music Notebook, you might have first encountered Joe through his work with the trio Brother Son, or perhaps you heard him on the radio across the nation. He's had a number of his songs that reached #1 on the folk DJ charts over the years. Or maybe you heard him on Folk Music Notebook, where he hosts one of our most listened to programs on the second Sunday of each month, when he and a guest explore a variety of topics. But most likely, you've seen him somewhere on the road over the past couple of decades. He's one of the busiest folk artists on this circuit, and also one of the most committed. Now, I'm not sure if I'm leaking a secret, but I understand Joe is hard at work on a brand new album, which hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll hear sometime this summer, and maybe, just maybe we'll share a song from that tonight. Whatever he decides to perform, well, it's always a memorable evening when we have a chance to spend some quality time with Joe Jenks.
Thank you so much, Ron. What a pleasure to be here. And what a joy it was to be a part of that video that Noel Paul Stuckey assembled, the song that Tom and John wrote, and so many extraordinary artists lent their talents to. I was early in my career invited up to Winnipeg by Mitch Podolak, the founder of the Winnipeg Folk Festival, to do a special concert in the month of May as part of a month-long festival in Winnipeg called Mayworks. But it stemmed from the 1919 Winnipeg General Strike. It was one of the most consequential labor actions in the history of North America. James Connolly, the famous Irish revolutionary, had traveled to the United States about a decade before then, specifically to study organizing tactics with the industrial workers of the world, the IWW, the Wobblies. And he traveled throughout the United States and parts of Canada to study their organizing tactics. And those became part of the tactics that were used in the 1916 uprising in Ireland and ultimately in the War of Independence between 1919 and 1921. The tactics used in Winnipeg by the workers were also, spread around the world. And so I wrote this song for Mitch Podolak shortly before he passed in honor of the 100th anniversary of the Winnipeg General Strike, something that changed the shape of labor in North America forever. I encourage you to look it up. But one of the great joys of that trip for me was going into the Ukrainian Labor Temple in Winnipeg. It's a Canadian National Historic Site, and I encourage you to check it out if you ever get to Winnipeg. And the inside of the temple is just lined with floor-to-ceiling, beautiful, heroic murals of people at work in the fields, in the factory, on the farms, in the home, doing laundry, doing all of the things that allow working people to help make the world go round. And so in the spirit of the Wobblies and of the industrial workers of the world, in the spirit of 1919, I wrote this song, Winnipeg 1919, and it is a song off of the new album. I'm very excited to say that I have Hans Araki on this playing tin whistle, and John Roberts playing concertina, and Shannon Labbert-Ryan from Runa doing some harmonies with me on the record. So here it is.
was 1919 and all around the world people started marching with their victory flag unfurled. We've shed our blood on battlefields, enslaved in deep dark mines. We rally to the banner, bread and roses, it's our time. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. From Europe and to Canada, across the USA, we cry out for justice and for fair and equal pay. All sisters and brothers and all workers here unite. We strive for one big union and defend our common rights. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. From Halifax and Thunder Bay to the Fraser River shore, Seattle, San Francisco, and Chicago, hear us roar. From Boston on to Dublin town, I heard the people's cries. No more to drudge an idler when the workers organize. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Some of us were born of means and others not a dime. We spend our lives in service to a cause we hold sublime. All laborers in commonwealth, now let our voices say that one way or another we will bring the greater day. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. Rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Mr. Big Bill Haywood, Mother Jones, and Eugene Debs, along with Emma Goldman and Joe Hill and all the Reds, and all those fellow travelers who beckon to the call. An injury to one of us is an injury to all. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. We may not win our struggle here, but sure as hell we'll try. For the future of our children, we are steadfast by and by. It's only when our minds are joined with muscle we can stand and bring to birth a new world, arm in arm and hand in hand. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. We rise up all around the world and sing our freedom song.
Woo!
Thank you.
Beautiful, Joe.
Thank you. Today is May 1st, Workers' Memorial Day. In 1885, the first World Labor Congress gathered together to see what they could do about improving the situation of working people globally. And they declared that May 1st, 1886 would henceforth be Workers' Memorial Day. They would celebrate May Day, along with, of course, the ancient Irish and Celtic festival of Beltane, the first day of summer on the Celtic calendar. It has been historically a day of celebration. They decided that it should be a day of celebration and remembrance. And so the spirit of that was with the workers in 1886 who gathered in Chicago at the Haymarket Square and were gunned down by the police and by the Pinkertons and charged with inciting the violence, though they had not. And so May Day has a rich and deep history. Ever since then, it has been celebrated around the world, especially as a result of the Haymarket Massacre. But I think it's important that we honor the work of each other. It's important that we recognize the inherent worth and dignity of the work that each one of us does, whether that is on the factory floor, in the field, as cultural workers involved in music, in radio, and presenting art. It is so important that we honor, in truth, the work of our hands and understand it not through the lens of drudgery, but through the lens of privilege. It is a privilege to have good work to do. It is a privilege to contribute well to the world around us. And we are very privileged to be able to do so through our art. I first really got on board with a lot of the stories of working people as a result of a record that my sister Jean gave me when I was 8 years old. In 1980, she bought me Pete Seeger and Arlo Guthrie live in concert. It was recorded at multiple shows from Montreal to Chicago and parts in between. But there was a song on there in particular that changed the course of my life and certainly really opened the door for me into the idea of being a folk singer, because I wanted to know the people that were being written about in the song. It's a song that I still sing today, a song written by Woody Guthrie in 1948, the words, the music in 1959 by Marty Hoffman. I know many of you are inclined to want to sing along from home, wherever you happen to be. Please do so.
The crops are all in, the peaches are rotting, the oranges are stacked in their creosote dumps. They're flying you back to the Mexico border to pay all your money to wait back again. My father's own father, he waded that river. They took all the money that he made in his life. My brothers and sisters, they worked in the fruit trees. They rode the big trucks till they took down and died. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, for all they will call you will be deportees. Now some of us are illegal, and others not wanted. The work season ends and we have to move on. 600 miles to the Mexico border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers and thieves. We've died in your hills and we've died in your deserts. We've died in your valleys, we've died in your plains. We've died in your trees and we've died in your bushes. Both sides of the river, we've died just the same. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. Won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, for all they will call you will be deportees. The sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon, like a fireball of lightning. Shook all our hills. Who are these friends all scattered like dried leaves? The radio says they are just deportees. Is this the best way we can grow your big orchards? Is this the best way we can grow your good fruit? To fall like dried leaves and rot on your topsoil, to be known by no name except deportee. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. Won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, for all they will call you will be deportees. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, for all they will call you will be deportees. Yes, all they will call you will be deportees.
Thank you so much. There have been so many unsung heroes during the pandemic. I think a lot of us are aware of the lengths to which healthcare workers have gone. But of course, anybody involved in education has been jumping through hoops, trying to keep the wheels on the bus, as it were. And so I thought I'd wrap up my set with a song that I wrote several years ago for school workers in Ashtabula County, Ohio. It's a song called Rise as One. Some of you know it. Again, please feel free to sing along from home. And thank you so much to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival for hosting this event on May 1st. What a privilege it is to be here and see so many of my friends from all over the country, all over this extraordinary land. And I really look forward to seeing all of you in person as our paths cross out in the festivals and at different events. I've missed seeing you all in person, and I think we're all overdue some hugs. So I'm pretty excited. And some harmonies. Pat and Sandy, man, I just see your lips moving back there, and I can hear you in my head. I miss you. I miss singing with you. We gotta fix that.
It is we who serve the lunches, and we who sweep the floors, and we who drive the buses with your children off to school. We keep the buildings warm in winter and cool when it's hot, and we will not let you play us for the fool. When we ask for better health care or an increase in our wage, tell us that the township can't afford to pay the bill, but you found $500,000 from within those very coffers to try and break the union's back and break our will. And we will never give up, we will never give in, and we'll never ever go away. We will build a brand new future for our daughters and our sons. We will work till all workers rise as one. We believe in education and the future of our town, and the children that we serve from day to day. Wherever there's a need, we always go the extra mile. God knows we do it for the love, not for the pay. But we have worked as hard as any for every inch of ground that we gained in the struggle for our rights. And we will not stand by idly as you try to tear us down. If we have to, we will organize a strike. And we will never give up, we will never give in, and we'll never ever go away. We will build a brand new future for our daughters and our sons. We will work till all workers rise as one. Well, we didn't have a penny in the strike fund, sad but true, that made us all a little bit afraid. But the call went out to every other union in the state, and somehow all the workers' bills were paid. You see, this isn't just our struggle, and it isn't just our jobs, and it isn't just the schools within our town. When we dare to raise our voice in solidarity, we stand with every other worker all the world around. We'll never give up singing, and we will never give up, we will never give in, and we'll never ever go away. We will build a brand new future future for our daughters and our sons. We will work till all workers rise as one. We held a rally at the fairgrounds to show 'em our resolve, drum up some support for our campaign. 1,000 people hit the street, that's more than half our town. And after that, you know, things couldn't be the same. Well, whoever would have guessed it when this whole thing began? We'd have the strength to hold out for so long. But 3 months have now gone by, and the school board just gave in on their demands. Now we can sing our victory song. We'll never give up. We will never give up. We will never give in. And we'll never, ever go away. We will build a brand new future for our daughters and our sons. We will work till all workers rise as one. We will build a brand new future for our daughters and our sons. We will work till all workers rise as one.
All right, Joe.
Your voice is so beautiful, Joe. And I was just wondering, listening to you, is there any chance that you and Greg Greenway and Pat Richter would get together and have a reunion of brother-son?
That's probably a longer conversation, but thus far we have decided not to. We've decided to let the magic that we made together be its own unique moment in time, and all of us are deeply invested in other pursuits now artistically. But we all keep in touch. I just had a marvelous conversation with Greg a couple of weeks ago, and I check in with Pat every so often. And yeah, we're all immensely grateful for the years that we spent together on the road and the music that we made together.
Well, when can people see you next live?
I'm on the road right now for another 3 weeks. I'm also in the midst of making a record at the same time, a unique form of chaos that really only other working musicians would truly understand. But I'm down in D.C. this week mixing a record with Charlie Pilzer at Tonal Park Studios, and then I'm off to Virginia and North Carolina and Florida, and I'll be around and about this summer. I'll be at the Old Songs Festival in upstate New York. I'll be at the Celtic Roots Festival in Goderich, Ontario, several other festivals, and you can check joejenks.com, JoeJencs.com for more information.
Well, thank you so much for being part of tonight.
Christine,
and
thank you.
Part of that beautiful video.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Together.
Absolutely. My pleasure. What is it that you're stitching this evening while you're hanging out at the festival?
It's a scarf. It's a Christmas present, a very late Christmas present, or a very early Christmas present for my nephew who just got married. I made one for his wife, and now, so I'm behind.
That's beautiful. Well, so much joy tonight in this festival, and thanks all. And I'm gonna hop out of the way so Emma's Revolution can get on with what they do.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness, these two women are just so wonderful, and their voices blend like no other voices blend. And they've been working together for 20 years now. And they worked for many years before they found each other. So we're such lucky recipients tonight to be here. They're known for their fearless, truth-telling lyrics and melodies you just can't resist singing. If you've ever heard the song Swimming to the Other Side, that's one of them. Emma's Revolution is dynamic, award-winning. They're activists. They're a duo. And what else can I say about them? They have sung for the Dalai Lama, and they've been praised by Pete Seeger. God bless him, that he knew early on when he saw them, he knew how special they were. And they've also been covered by Holly Near, who's pretty terrific. And here they are, Emma's Revolution.
Thanks so much. So great to be with you all. Well, as many folks have mentioned, this is May 1st, a day to remember the workers of the world. And this is an old song in a kind of a new arrangement that Sandy did years ago. This is one of the first songs actually that we sang together. Words by James Oppenheim, and Mimi Farina put a tune to it, and I think we've sort of mixed sort of part of Mimi's version of it and part of one of the original melodies to it. And you will most definitely recognize it. It's sort of when I first heard it, I really felt like it was kind of a love song to the women who did the work in this country.
So sing with us.
As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day, a million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mil of gray are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we go marching, marching, we battle too for men, for they are women's children. Let the mothers speak again. Our life shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we go marching, marching, unnumbered women dead go crying through our singing their ancient call for bread. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. As we go marching, marching, people hear our call, for the rising of the women means the rising of us all. No more the drudge and idler tend the toil where one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses, bread and roses, bread and roses.
Oh, and mandolin. Thank you. We're really happy to be coming to you today from Chicago, where we are on the road doing some CD release concerts. That's what they're called. And we're going to be going tomorrow to see to visit the gravesite of our namesake, Emma Goldman, who was one of those women who stood up and said, "This is how the world needs to be."
And we're also going to stop after that because it's on the way to where we're going next, to Mother Jones's gravesite, because right next to where Mother Jones is buried is our dear friend Ann Feeney, who died of COVID right before the vaccines became available. Wanted to go and pay our respects. I'm sure were she here, she would be out singing somewhere, singing labor songs and, on the front lines of some struggle. So we wanted to lift up her voice on this International Workers' Day. And so there are wars raging all around the world. Periodically one or another gets spotlighted. Of course, now it's the conflict in Ukraine, but the others drone on, and the refugees continue to mount, and the families who are separated continue to move and move and move again and again and again as the situation gets more and more dire wherever they are. And again, some of the voices that we least hear from are the women's voices in these conflicts, who are taking their children out of conflict zones and picking up and rebuilding a life somewhere, in hopes, of course, that they can go back to their country of origin. And may that be so for the people of Afghanistan, the people of Yemen, of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and the people of Ukraine. So this is a song to lift up their voices. You can sing with us from where you are. Hear my voice.
So our part is Hear My Voice, or any version of that you'd like to sing.
Okay. Women in search of safety, children in need of food, struggling for our freedom, so I am a refugee. Women of hope and courage, living through poverty, fleeing from war and terror, so I am a refugee. I am a teacher, I am a worker, I am a woman, and I am a refugee. I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a sister, and I am a refugee. Fighting for education, speaking my native tongue, practicing my religion, so I am a refugee. Powerful and resilient, seeing my people through, sharing my truth and wisdom, so I am a refugee. I am a speaker, I am a dancer, I am a singer, and I am a refugee. I am a writer, I am a lawyer, I am a fighter, and I am a refugee. Women will come together, linking our destinies, guided by intuition, no longer a refugee. Women of strength and beauty, driven by faith and heart, moving our people forward, no longer a refugee. I am a builder, I am a seeker, I am a dreamer, and I am a refugee. I am a leader, I am a healer, I am the future, and I am a refugee. I am a leader, I am a healer, I am the future, and I am a refugee. Hear my voice.
What? Well, we're gonna finish up with one song. It's one of our newer songs. It's on It's actually on both CDs. So we released 2 CDs. One's called Rooted for all those songs that we wrote when we were rooted in place during the pandemic. And then the second CD is called Evolution because it is celebrating our 20 years of doing this. We couldn't be happier to have all of you as our friends and co-singers and co-justice makers. We love being on this program with you. And this song is on both of those CDs because it was sort of an instant classic. And it's inspired by that big, tall troublemaker played the banjo.
Yeah, we couldn't think about finishing this set without singing something that raised up Pete Seeger's name, and since he was really one of my biggest influences for why I sing this kind of music, and also the incredible organization that he and a bunch of families along the Hudson River created to help clean up that beautiful body of water. When it came time to do one of the online Clearwater festivals, they've done a couple of them during this pandemic. I just thought back about my time in the Hudson Valley and my time with Clearwater, and what an incredible impact that had on my life. So this is kind of a love song to the river and love song to Clearwater, and to all the folks that create the world that we want to live in. I really felt like when Toshi was organizing the Clearwater revival, that she was creating that world for us, so we could walk into it physically and really feel what that world would feel like and look like. And sound like. So maybe this will bring back a little bit of that to you. Water, carry me down, rock me in your arms, sail me on by the river towns, take me with the wind, guided by the moon, sing to me a sweet Clearwater tune. In winter she's safe beneath her shed, where work parties gather to fix her towed ahead. They clean her bow to stern and down below. Soon she will be ready with the melting ice and snow. Water, carry me down, rock me in your arms, sail me on by the river towns, take me with the wind, guided by the moon, sing to me sweet Clearwater tune. Swans return as the ice recedes, beckoning the blossoms, awakening the seeds, bending on the sails, we're nearly through. Springtime we push off the dock and sail downstream to you. Water, carry me down, rock me in your arms, sail me on by the river towns, take me with the wind, guided by the moon, sing to me a sweet Clearwater tune. Through the osprey's eyes, navigating the skies, water flows from mountain to the sea. Though I live miles away, I can always say our Hudson River sloop still calls to me. She lives Pete Seeger's dream each time she sails, inspiring folks with songs, enchanting them with tales. Ancient water touches all our lives. Keep our water sacred, and we will all survive. Water, carry me down, rock me in your arms, sail me on by the river towns, take me with the wind, guided by the moon. Sing to me, sweet, clear water, water, carry me down, rock me in your arms, sail me on by the river towns, take me with the wind, guided by the moon. Sing to me, sweet, clear water tune. Sing to me, sweet, clear water tune. Thanks so much, y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Much love. Woo! Yeah, beautiful.
That was wonderful. Emma's Revolution. Oh, Sandy and Pat, I'm so glad you sang that song at the end, because I don't know how many. I'm looking at my calendar. This Tuesday, May 3rd, is the 103rd anniversary of Pete Seeger's birth. So
That's right.
Good to see the Clearwater is still sailing. There's no revival this year, but they'll be back, and thanks to folks like you are carrying on Pete's tradition. By the way, this is the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, and I understand you're going to be in New York City next weekend.
We are playing at the People's Voice Cafe on Saturday, May 7th, and it's live and live streamed. So you can watch it from anywhere. You can come see us in person. We hope to see you. I'm seeing your face right there. That's lovely. Thanks. I guess, Rod, maybe you're still in New York. Maybe we'll get to see you. That'd be sweet.
I hope so.
And you're still doing your Sunday Learn a Song? Is that online as well?
Yes.
Pretty much every Sunday. We didn't end up doing one today because we had 3 gigs back to back online. But otherwise, we'll be doing every Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific, so 4 o'clock Eastern.
And we've expanded it. It's either learn our song or learn a song of a friend, a guest of ours. And then we also do concerts at that same time, 1 p.m. So just take a look at the schedule. But we'd love to have you there.
And your website is?
emmasrevolution.com.
Yep, and we're coming to New England, I should say, with Annie Patterson in June, and the Mid-Atlantic, and we'll be at the Poor People's Campaign. So June's very busy. Come catch us somewhere.
Come see us.
Well, we'll hope that everybody will do that. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's always a pleasure to hear you.
Thanks so much, Ron.
Thanks. Well, I also want to thank everybody who's been donating tonight. Now, don't forget, that tip jar is still open. If you can afford to, please help us out and help out all these wonderful performers. We split the money between them, and also to help keep this wonderful monthly concert going. We'll tell you about next month's a little later on, but you can also go to the website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org, and you'll find a donation there, and your help really keeps this going. We hope you're enjoying it, and I'm so excited. Our next performer, I know people seem to throw around words like icon or legend way too frequently, but I don't think anybody would argue about our next performer. However, those terms really don't say enough about the man whose voice and compassion really helped shape the folk community that we all know today. He may be best known as Paul from the trio Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I've been to many weddings where the bride and groom are serenaded to his now classic composition, Wedding Song, which is also known in some quarters as There Is Love. Now, a lot of artists probably could retire on the royalties from writing such a song, but Noel has used nearly $2 million that were raised from that song to fund work of other socially responsible artists. And with his daughter Liz, they created the nonprofit organization Music to Life in 2001. And the organization has helped introduce artists, their songs, to inspire music to life for social change through technology, entertainment, artist collaboration, and education. An amazing organization from an amazing man and daughter. And let's not forget that he also continues to perform and record. In fact, his newest recording is climbing up the folk DJ charts. Last time I looked, he was number 8 and climbing right up there. The album is called Faz, Now and Then, and Faz stands for a blend of folk and jazz, where Noel explores both traditional and contemporary songs. It is a winner. It is truly an honor to welcome back to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Noel Paul Stookey.
Well, thank you, Ron. That's really a sweet intro. A little bit of history, a little bit of reflection on my daughter Liz and the Music to Life organization. And, you know, the reason the new album is called Faz, aside from the fact that Paul Desmond, the saxophone player for Dave Brubeck, invented it back in the 70s when we were touring with them, when the trio was touring with them, it's caused me to look at the fact that I just love color chords. I don't know, I didn't realize it at the time, but it's the difference between like an A major, and the smoky cousin called the A major 7th. I mean, you may not think that impacts a lyric, but you could sing any lyric like, I went to the grocery store. Yeah, but an A major 7th? I went to the grocery store. Now suddenly you're all alone in the grocery store and you're left to your own devices or the list that your wife gave you. Anyway, this symbiotic relationship between rich chords, many of them cultivated or drawn from the jazz tradition, and folk music has always, coincided in many of the tunes that I've written, and certainly the ones that I love the most. And it seems only fitting somehow that I should start this next song off with a borrow from Burt Bacharach. Not necessarily your folk poet of note, but it seems appropriate for this song, and particularly for the times in which we live. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only thing that there's just too little of. So let's talk about love with a capital L. When was the last time you heard it spelled with the emphasis in the proper place? Yeah, let's talk about love in the uppercase. Some might call it amazing grace, or the author of all time and space. Man, let's talk about love, 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 love. You may recall a situation, change a heart you didn't see, where love's the only explanation for a miracle that set somebody free. Yeah, let's talk about love with a capital L. Not talking about witchcraft or a magic spell or hanky-panky in a cheap motel. Now let's talk about saying that there's more here than we are usually willing to confess. Hey, let's talk about love, where it all began. Yeah, love, love, love like a master plan. If you believe, then raise your hand and let's talk about love, 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 love with capital L. So that's really sweet. I didn't realize what that sounds like when you guys all flip your mutes off and you give me the hands. That's lovely. Thank you. Part of the challenge for us wandering into these challenging times is to keep the positive. And it's so easy to be dismissed as if we are not paying attention to the larger issues of life. But, you know, as this song was trying to suggest, there's a bigger battle going on, you know, for the soul of our country, for the soul of the world. There is such a need for us to maintain not only the good relationship and the forgiving natures of ourselves when we deal with people that perhaps are on the other side of the aisle, but to remember to have a sense of good humor about it. And I know it flies in the face of all of the grim that's around us, but I created a song because I just felt like, well, who's to tell us that we're not supposed to be happy? Who's to tell us that the small successes of our personal lives are not as valuable somehow as the contributions they make to the larger goodness in the world? So I put together this little video. I did the typing, and a good friend of mine, Dale Deloy, did the illustrations for a song that, you know, you watch out. You don't want to come down on the wrong side of, queuing up the video, the fun police.
We are the fun police. Do you have a license for that smile? What makes you think that you have got the right to bring that light into this darkness? We are the fun police. We are protectors of the frown. It's not uncommon in this line of work to see a smirk turn into laughter. And what comes after? The rule is quite immutable. A giggle's prosecutable. You tried to hide it, just a bit too late. We are new and quite ambitious, therefore naturally suspicious. No, you'll become a prisoner of the state. We are the fun police, and we have had our eye on you. We might be willing to permit a grin, but only in the rarest cases. We are the fun police. And should we look the other way, there is no telling where your mirth might lead. In fact, indeed, these latter stages are quite contagious.
We are the fun police. Is there no limit to your joy? You might have noticed we are envious, but still we must enforce restrictions. We are the fun police. I think I see a twinkle in your eye. If we decide that we could let you go, won't you let us know what your secret source is now? Goodness gracious, you're all applauding for a video. Don't applaud for a video. Just send your canned laughter, your canned applause. You know, I am so struck by the honor that is woven amongst all of you. Joe, Jenks, I love this. Emma, Dan, Rebel Girls. I just, and I know it's May 1st, and I probably ought to have a labor tune. And if Mary were here, she'd say the labor tune. But Mary's not here. Still in all, I think because we're so close to Pete's birthday, I'm going to change the program. I was going to do a sing-along. And you guys have already encouraged people at home to sing along, but I want to do one of Pete's tunes. And ironically, this is a tune that Folklore has said that Pete wrote from a Russian poem. Isn't that ironic? You'll recognize it, and there's plenty of room. And go in the bathroom if you want an echo chamber and reflect off the tile. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, every one. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone? Gone to young men, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young men gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young men gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young men gone? Gone to soldiers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the soldiers gone? Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing, where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago, where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever? And where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing, where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago, where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing, where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago, where have all the flowers gone?
Beautiful, Noel.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's so beautiful, but could you do one more song for us? Could you?
Does it have to be as beautiful?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Well, this is a song that I didn't realize was going to be an anthem, but it turned out to be kind of a call across the board. Thank you so much for having me here. It's just really an honor to be with all you guys. There's a warning in the wind that comes wailing through the trees, a depression in the shoreline left by the pounding seas. There is a lesson in the drought that brings a country to its knees in these times. We are dancing with disaster when we live beyond our need and pretend our hungry souls are not related to our greed. Life's a journey, but it's not about the speed in these times. In these times, we must be mindful of the gift. In these times, use our hands and hearts to lift the fallen spirit in this land, planting flowers in the sand, reaching out a helping hand. As the perfect storm approaches and the gale around us roars, no longer can we close our eyes or hide behind our doors. Our choice is fewer now by what we've chosen to ignore in these times. The ship of state is drifting and it's getting hard to steer. It's a complicated issue, but the direction's pretty clear. And each of us is who we need to get to there from here in these times. Ooh, in these times, we must be mindful of the gift. In these times, use our hands and hearts to lift the fallen spirit in this land, bringing water to the sand, reaching out it's living. There is a promise of a love planted in the seeds below and in the stars above. We must listen to its message, become faithful stewards of these times. Yes, in these times, we must be mindful of the gift in these times. Use our hands and hearts to lift the fallen spirit in this land, planting gardens in the sand, reaching out a helping hand in these times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being part of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Thank you.
Of course. What would we be without the
I hope you'll hang around to see our next performer. It's an embarrassment of riches, folks.
I would
that we've
miss
got.
it.
I mean, Noel Paulstucki, and now our closing performer, who is the one who co-wrote with Tom Paxton the new song Ukrainian Now, and Noel Paul made that beautiful video for it. In the first 36 hours, it's gotten 14,000 views. Which is,
that's great, Christine.
yeah, that's really great for folk music, and it's such a wonderful song, it's such a beautiful video. And our next performer, unbelievably, he's been working for 50 years. 50 years he's been on stage, and he's released so far 41 albums. And it's almost easier to list the instruments he doesn't play than the instruments he does play. I actually called up his road manager, Tom Slothauer, who is in the Zoom room, in the green room, because we wanted him to feel really comfortable, know his road manager's here. If anything goes wrong, he'll fix it. And I asked Tom, I said, how many instruments does he actually play? And he said, well, if it's got strings, he can play it, though he's most known for the hammer dulcimer. And so far, Tom has traveled with our next performer for more than 3,000 concerts for 33 years, 24 countries, all 50 states. And he's better than he's ever been. And there's no one quite like him at all in music. There's only one, John McCutcheon.
Thanks, Christine. I am the other. I am the neighbor you don't know. The quiet kid in high school who sat in the last row. The old woman with the push cart. The stranger on the bus. The one out at the edges who was never one of us. I am the other. I root for a different team. Pray in another language, I wear clothes you've never seen, and I tune to different stations on TV and radio. I hear things that you don't hear, I know things you'll never know. I am the other, heading home from work at dawn, the guy who drives the Prius with a Trump sign in my lawn. I'm the one who sees the world a little different than you. Still I'll come if you're in trouble. I mean, what you gonna do? I am the other, waiting patiently in line. Others cut in front of me, thinks that is just fine. I am detained at the border watchword, and compassion is the key. When we sit down at the table, this well no longer dry. Bow our heads in thanks and eat our humble pie. I am the other. Well, so many people have mentioned tonight that this is, of course, May Day, and that this is one of the few countries in the world that doesn't celebrate it as Labor Day, even though it was created in honor of the Haymarket martyrs back in the 1880s. There are so many of my brothers and sisters here from my union, American Federation of Musicians, Local 1000. I wanted to do something in honor of them. This is a song I wrote in last fall in honor of the centenary of the Battle of Blair Mountain. Now, most of you all watching this tonight have never heard of the Battle of Blair Mountain. It was the largest labor war in U.S. history, involving between 10 and 20,000 combatants. I first heard about the Battle of Blair Mountain from my mentor and dear friend, Nimrod Workman. That's his picture over there on the wall, right over my shoulder here. He was a combatant in the Battle of Blair Mountain. Those of you who saw the John Sayles film, Mate One, that was the first skirmish that resulted in the Battle of Blair Mountain. And it was the first time aerial bombing was ever used in North America, and it was against West Virginia coal miners in the Battle of Blair Mountain. The miners vastly outnumbered the company thugs, but when the U.S. Army showed up, the miners, many of whom had just returned from fighting in World War I 2 years earlier, decided they could not fight and fire on their comrades that they had fought alongside a couple of years earlier, and the strike was over. A little bit of sociological etymology here. The miners, to identify one another, tied red bandanas around their throats, and the term redneck was created. But as it happens so often, the people in power took this sign and this name of great privilege and honor and turned it into a pejorative. So in the spirit of so many people who have done it in their own way throughout the years, I thought it was time to reclaim that name. There's a song called Redneck. In West Virginia back in 1921, company ruled us miners with their laws and with their guns. They pushed us and they threatened us till we couldn't take no more. Tied red bandanas round our throats and thus began the redneck war. I am a redneck, I'll say it long and loud. I am a redneck, coal miner and I'm They drop bombs upon our heads as we march along. We refuse to fire on those we fought with back in World War I. When the U.S. Army showed what we knew we were done. Still we were rednecks, saying along aloud, "Am a redneck, coal miner, and I'm proud. Here in Logan County, I will make my red." Now a century later, too much is the same. They make our history invisible and an insult of our name. Still we fight for decent ways, for dignity and respect. Make our children proud to wear the name red. I'm a redneck, sing along aloud. I'm a redneck, coal miner, and I'm proud. Here in Logan County, I'll make my I am a redneck, sing along aloud. I'm a redneck, I'm a coal miner, and I'm proud. Here in Logan County, I'll make my
Hey, John, turn down your guitar.
Well, I'm going to put my guitar away now.
All right, because it was too loud. I couldn't hear
Yeah.
your voice.
I'm going to, because today is the day after tomorrow is Pete Seeger's birthday. It's been said before, so I'm going to go across the room here and step over to the hammer dulcimer and play a couple of Pete's tunes. Oh. I'm going to need a different camera, though. Hold on. There you go. These are two of my favorite of Pete's tunes. The first is a love song he wrote to the Hudson River. I think one of the things that Pete taught us was that at the source of all civic engagement has got to be love of place. And Pete went around in 1968, 1969 and talked to all his neighbors, people who probably did disagree with him on just about everything. But one of the things he knew was that they all shared the dream of their children and their grandchildren, loving the Hudson River and boating and fishing and swimming in it. And this was one of my favorites of the tunes that he wrote. He told me that he would, because they didn't know anything about building a boat, which ended up being the Clearwater, he decided he would build himself a rowboat to learn about boat building. And he was out on the river one night. It was a beautiful night. It was clear. All the stars were out. It was a full moon. And he was overwhelmed and wrote this song. It's called Sailing Down My Golden River. And then I'm going to follow it with an instrumental that he wrote many years prior to that on the 12-string guitar called Living in the Country. When I was a kid, I very faithfully learned it on the 12-string guitar, and then I learned to play the hammer dulcimer. So here's a couple of tunes in honor of Pete. Sailing down my golden river, sun and water all my own. light glancing on the water. Life and death are all my own. But I was never alone. Life to raise my sons and daughters, golden sparkles in the foam. But I was not far from home, exploring all the little byways, sighting all the distant shores. But I was never alone. Sailing down my golden river, sun and water all my own. But I was never alone.
Wow. Happy birthday. Fantastic, babe.
That's beautiful. Hey, John. Hello from Mount Kisco.
What?
Sounded great.
Well,
Awesome.
thanks. It was doing my best to sort of bring up the caboose of this just terrific collection of musicians, many of whom are longtime friends of mine, and I was honored to be here and got to hear everybody. So thank you all so much. Thanks to all my fellow workers on this May Day.
Beautiful set. Hey, John, can we impose on you to do one more song for us? Would you mind?
Well, you already told me that you wanted me to do this song, so I guess I will.
That's true. I'm a lousy liar, I guess. What can I tell you?
Well, I'm gonna turn over here to my piano for this one. This is one you guys have already heard. Rob, won't hear it again. You know the chorus. Sing along. Come on, get out of here. When I open the paper, check out the news on TV. It's pictures of buildings exploding, is all that I see. But here, there, amidst all the horror, the blood and the bone, are the Davids against the Goliath, defending their homes. I am Ukrainian now, I will stand and I will not bow. Half world away, but somehow I am Ukrainian now. I am the Muscovite protesting out in the street. I am the rabbi learning to pray with my feet. I am the soldier who used to dance in the ballet. I am the father sending my family away. I am Ukrainian now, I will dance but I will not bow. Half world away but somehow I am Ukrainian now. This world that once was so big now seems so small. An attack on the freedom of one is aimed at us all. Sometimes the picture before you is just too hard to see, but I can't turn away like the coward that I used to be. While others are mounting resistance and risking it all, how can we stand by impassive when we hear their call? We are Ukrainian now, we will stand, we will not bow. Half world away, but somehow we all are Ukrainian now. We are Ukrainian now, we will stand, we will not bow. Half world away, but somehow we all are Ukrainian.
Powerful, man. Just powerful.
Thank you all. Thank you all for the work.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you and Tom Paxton for writing that amazing song. The two of you are still doing the Monday sessions. Is that how that came about?
Yeah, we just started. Well, we write for. Well, we don't write for an hour. We tell jokes. We tell stories. Noel knows what it's like, and then for about 15 or 20 minutes, we write a song. And this last Monday, Tom said, "Well, when we record our triple album, because we've got a bunch of them." Tom is it's a remarkable thing when your heroes become your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I hope the two of you do record that album, because that would be a treasure for all of us. So keep writing. You're doing fine.
Got no choice.
Thanks, John. John McCutcheon. Well, folks, what a night this has been. Let's bring back Christine Lavin. Chris, you there?
Yeah. I'm
here.
Let's bring back Rod McDonald.
I don't think he's available from what he was telling us, so I'm not sure what's going on.
No, I can see him.
Yeah, he's touring tonight, so but maybe he'll say hello to us. Hello, Rod.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Beautiful music. Really enjoyed it a lot. Killer version of Where Have All the Flowers Gone? We were all sitting here singing along. I was even playing the guitar, and very astutely did not turn my mic on, so you didn't know that. But that's okay.
Well, listen, we missed you tonight, and we hope that you'll be back next month. And I see we've got a great lineup next month. David Massengill, John Smith, Jim Bruno, Roy Zimmerman, Carol Ann Solabello, Louis Collins, and Chris, you're going to love this one because I know you and I are both big fans. Kyle Hancherick will be here.
Kyle, oh
Yeah.
my God. He is a rising star, I'm telling you. I thought you were going to say Dame Edna.
Well, there's still some open slots, so Rod, Ray, get to work. Maybe we'll
We'll
see
email,
it.
but she hasn't replied yet.
Listen, Rod, thank you so much. We all want to thank you and Ray Mysick and Andrea Klosky and Jerry Hinson for all the work you put in on this. And of course, Brandon O'Sullivan and Greg Greenway, our tech crew, and the amazing sound you guys put together. You folks pulled this off, so thank you so much. And what a lineup of artists tonight. Paul Clements, Dan Tappan, Rebel Voices, Greg Greenway, who was pinch hitting tonight for Doug Mishkin and Colleen Cateau. Both of them came down ill. Greg, I hope you're feeling well. Take plenty of chicken soup, vitamin C. There might be a curse there with that slut. Also, Ken Perlman, Seth Gleer, Joe Jenks, Emma's Revolution, Noel Paul Stuckey, and John McCutcheon. It has been quite a night.
Hey, Ron, can I
Thank you, everyone
can I interrupt you
who's
guys for
donated.
just a second?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rod. Yeah.
Can I butt in for just a second?
Sure.
I wanted to say how beautiful the song is that you guys wrote, John, you and Tom, and the video you made of it, Noel. Really spectacular piece of work. Thanks for letting us show it. And
Well, Noel did the video, and,
Yes,
and
I know.
Christine helped a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, you did?
hey,
Yeah,
John,
okay.
John, tell us who Andrew is, the photographer who sent all that great footage.
When I first put the I made a little thing up and put it up on Facebook. All kinds of people from Ukraine started commenting on it, and several people said, "I want to make a video of this," and I said, it's a gift. Just, topical songs are things that have as Paxton's wonderful term, it has a very short shelf life. So let's get this out there. And that's how I only know Andrew any better than you do, Noel, because he sent this and found all these images, which he was generous enough to lend to you to make that beautiful video. So thank you. You're muted, my friend.
They all had soundtracks. It wasn't like it was just video.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's where I got the cello. I mean, the cello player sitting in the middle of that, between those two demolished buildings, is playing something, I don't know, Bach or, and I just happened to find those last 5 or 6 notes that coincided. But I'll tell you, the real amplification of that song came from Joe Jenks, because he added that bouzouki part, and it became the kind of cultural intro to your keyboard. So it was a great work, and hi Emma, you guys. Everybody did so beautifully on that. Yeah.
And I understand there was over 14,000 views so far on YouTube.
Well, that's Christine's bailiwick, man. She gets the stuff out there. If PR, folk music needed another PR artist, it'd be her.
Well, as Paxton said, when Christine gets her mindset on something, do not get in her way.
Amen to that.
It's also, I've been playing it on Folk Music Notebook, and we've suddenly got a number of people listening in the Ukraine, which amazes me with everything that's going on over there right now.
I know.
That, they're tuning in. But thank you for writing that song and being here tonight.
Wonderful, John.
Well, I think it's time for us to say nighty-night. Chris, I'm going to be seeing you next Saturday.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We've got a gig. Everybody's playing on May 7th.
I know.
Down
John,
in is in New York City on May 7th.
And John McCutcheon, you have a virtual concert on May 7th as well. And Chris, you're going to be at the Hurdy Gurdy Folk Music Club, a place I happen to know very well here in New Jersey. So I hope folks are watching. I hope you're enjoying this virtual show, but you'll get out to see some live music or tune in for some virtual streams like John's and Emma's. And
bring a mask. Bring a mask with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We can't err on the side of irresponsibility. We have, if we're erring on the side of caution.
Right.
But my little sister got very sick, and she's had 2 vaccinations and boosted, and she's recovering, which is great.
Right.
But we can't let our guard down.
Well, we're making sure we're asking everybody to make sure they have all their vaccinations, wear a mask, and we'll beat this thing. It's not over yet, but we're getting there. Well, I think we should say goodnight. Chris, any last words of wisdom?
No, not from me.
All right. Well, in that case, everybody, thank you so much for watching this. Don't forget, GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org is the website. We want to thank everybody who's donated tonight, and if you are still able to, please do so. We split all the money between the artists and to keep this organization going. And as I said before, we'll be back on June the 5th. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you all real soon.